Alrighty, and welcome to this centerpiece of this episode of the Friday Payroll Club. We've kind of been speaking a little bit about this theme throughout the episode today, so we are now onto what we call the main event, and really excited to bring in this guest today, Maureen from Herts Young Homeless. Herts Young Homeless been kind of Bartoo's chosen charity, and we've done quite a bit alongside the organisation, or charity rather. Be that through kind of my first exposure of climbing Snowdon up the Watkins Path and kind of getting my feet under the table with the team up a mountain, and I know before that time there's obviously been a lot of events as well, Aaron, that you've been involved with.
I'm trying to remember all the events now. I know we've definitely done at least one golf day. I'm thinking two.
Yes, I think it is at least two.
I think two.
Yeah.
We've done at least two big parties, didn't we?
Yes.
Fundraiser.
Yes, you did.
Parties.
Yeah.
That you've come and hosted with us.
Yes. Yeah. Up in London. Yeah.
Oh, and then of course the Snowdon.
Yeah.
Event. And,
it was an event. You're right. Yeah. It was an event.
I didn't make that one.
And then I think we've got a pub quiz coming up in October potentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're coming to our quiz night.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So I love a pub quiz, or I love a quiz in general. But yeah, I think without any further ado, it would be great to get a bit of an introduction to yourself, Maureen. For those that don't know you, who you are, what your role is in the charity, and yeah, just a bit of your story and kind of where your journey began, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
So my name's Maureen. I work for a fantastic charity called Herts Young Homeless. We're based in Hatfield in Hertfordshire, but we cover the whole county. So for those of you who don't know, Hertfordshire is massive as a county. And we offer free county-wide services to young people right across that whole area. My role is corporate partnerships. So I work with local businesses who want to work with us, partner with us, support us in some way, whether that be financially, or they want to come to events, or they want to volunteer, or they want to donate things to us. So however they want to be involved, my role is to try and work with them, understand what they'd like to get out of it, and give them the best experience.
Yeah,
really.
Great. Like kind of meeting and speaking and just discussing all things that you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for people that aren't necessarily quite sure of what the kind of goal or the aim of the charity is, like what is it that Herts Young Homeless are out there to do?
So what makes Herts Young Homeless unique is that we're all about prevention. So we want to make sure that young people don't end up street homeless.
Okay.
So a huge amount of our work is all about prevention. So we work with young people in schools. We have an education team who go into schools and deliver sessions, and they talk to young people about, if they're thinking of leaving home, sometimes they might think the grass is greener, and we kind of give them a bit of a reality check about what the things that they need to think about if they were leaving home. We also talk to them about healthy relationships, how to manage conflict, because in your sort of teenage years, that a lot of that stuff can come out, and the biggest cause of youth homelessness is family breakdown. So over 80%. It's caused by family breakdown. So we want to try and get in at the very early stages, and we do work with children as young as 10, would you believe, up to the age of 24. And then we also provide other services like mediation. So we work with families in a non-judgmental way. So we sit down with the young person and then their parents or their carers, whoever's involved in that young person's life, and we try and work out what the issues may be, and then agree some objectives, and then we work with them for about 6 weeks and try and get their relationship back on track. And if it's safe for that person to stay at home, then that's what the best place for them to be, so that they can carry on with their studies, or getting a job, or just kind of moving on in their lives, really. So yeah.
I think that's I think everyone has an experience of friction at home, don't they? Like,
Definitely.
Regardless of any other detail. I think it's a really interesting cause and really great cause. I think, if I could share some stories, but there's.
I was just thinking the same. Been quite close to needing the services, over my lifetime. I haven't, but
me too. Me too. I
think
mean, I
everyone
left home
does,
at
yeah.
19. I had, I left home at 19. I had, I didn't have a great relationship towards the end of sort of 18, 19. Left, and then and I've lived kind of under my own steam or on my own resources for quite a long time, and I've rented places, and then I've been made redundant and almost ended up homeless, and so
wow,
lots of synergy with what the charity does. So
And how did it all begin then? Kind of looking backwards to. Did you mention how long you've been around as a charity now?
So we've been around since 1998.
98.
Yeah.
Okay. And what was the kind of? Do you know the history before then, and kind of how it came to be, or?
Yeah, so the charity was set up because there wasn't a lot of social inclusion for young people who maybe found themselves homeless. So there wasn't anywhere for young people to go. So there was no sort of central place, and so they a lot of them probably went sort of just unheard and unseen. So the charity was set up to make sure that we could give people advice and information and support in from a central point, really. And that's how the charity was born. Such that's how we came about, and then we've grown sort of every year since then, and we've added on different services. So prevention has always been the kind of thread all the way through. So that's how all our services are kind of follow on from that. But we've got some new services that actually you mentioned, Aaron, about our Future Roots house.
Oh yeah,
that you came and helped. You put some furniture together, didn't you?
Yeah. So it was years and years ago, but I came and it was a load of flat pack.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The whole house was basically being done out, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
What can you tell the story? I was going to ask you actually what the house was for.
So it's a new venture for us back in 2022. We had never, as a charity, we'd always sort of signposted young people to accommodation across the county with local authority and the councils and things like that, but we'd never provided any housing ourselves. So new venture, quite exciting. And I had only been in the charity for about a year then, so it was really exciting. So it's a 5-bed house in Welwyn Garden City, and at the time when they moved in, we had a live-in support worker, and so 5 young people could come and live there. So you were taking them really from homelessness to, and then sort of getting them through to. That's it, and helping them to live independently. So teaching them all the skills that they're going to need. So hopefully they'd be in education or full-time employment by the time they left. So they would be in the house for up to 18 months. And Aaron came along when we were just getting the house ready, and helped build some furniture for the bedrooms and things like that. So
along with my Fisher Price toolkit, didn't I? It was good fun.
It was great, and actually it's been a fantastic way to get businesses involved because it's a practical thing they can come and help with. So we've had some businesses come in and help us decorate, landscape the garden,
amazing.
All sorts of things, So and obviously that constantly needs updating, so we're doing some stuff every year with businesses, so it's been great for that, and then some of the young people as well that have come out the other side have come and spoken at some of our events.
Oh, that's awesome. I was going to ask about that. So like how do you know how many people have gone through the house?
We've had 12 young people go through the house so far, in the last 3 years, and we've just had 2 or 3 young people leave over this summer, that have been there for 18 months, who I've gotten to know, and we've all gotten to know really well.
And they've got like council stuff now on the council's list, or whatever it is.
So they've all got housing where they're either sharing with other people or they've got a place to themselves. So so it's been great, and it's been fantastic just to see the kind of growth and the it's we teach them lots of practical skills like how to cook, how to clean, how to be a good neighbour,
how to live,
how to budget, all of those kind of things. But also it's about helping young people become more resilient and build their confidence and just make them feel like they matter and they're entitled to have a really good life. And just because they've had a blip doesn't set them up for the future, And
it can derail kind of. It's interesting how kind of one small instance might derail something for, you see a small change there, but the bigger angle down the line is a much broader from what could have. And it's awesome to kind of see, it is those basic necessity skills, basic skills that you need to kind of build that foundation to then, have what sounds like amazing opportunities presented back to them. And my question was, it's almost the businesses that you partner with. Are some of those businesses giving opportunity to these young people that are coming through? And that's amazing. That in itself, like as a trait of an employer, that's a good sign. Like to be able to, because I think there's a big gap in the jobs market in general, but to make sure that the right people get the right opportunities, it's really, really good to see.
Absolutely. Yeah, some of the businesses we partner with have offered work experience, whether the young person's interested in that industry or not. They've just offered them the chance to go in and maybe work in an office for a day or a week, or just that experience. It's been
good to get them out and used to being in that environment as well, and getting ready for when they are in a full-time job,
and doing things like they've supplied us funding so that they can afford some clothes to go for interviews and help them with their CVs and interview techniques and all sorts of things. So we've been partnered with lots of different businesses who can offer those things as well, which is great. Awesome. So
it's a good cause. It's great to see kind of businesses of any size, but local businesses getting involved in that stuff is just always awesome to kind of witness that from an outside perspective.
I was going to ask actually. So you'd mentioned before, I think I forget the stat now. It's like 80% of homelessness stems from broken up family life.
Yes.
Are there, and so 80%. What are some of the other common reasons that people would need your services? Would you say, or stem to need your services?
So I think, as I say, family breakdown is the kind of key one. I think other things are around, you've got things like financial issues, so cost of living has been a massive issue. So, lots of people have struggled through COVID. It could be mental health, it could be drug and alcohol, it could be all sorts of things, really. It could be violence in the home. There's lots of different reasons as to why young people might find themselves homeless, and people are under a lot more, they have a lot more challenges these days. I just think, families, and having gone through, all those years of COVID, that put a huge amount of more stress and pressure on everybody. Young people couldn't go to school, they couldn't, they didn't get to learn, they didn't get to see their friends. So it's a lot, And
then I guess if their parents are also facing a lot of pressure, financial, etc., that's going to reflect onto the kids. They pick up on a lot of this, don't they?
I think we're still seeing a lot of and we will continue to see a lot of the repercussions of kind of 2020 onwards. It feels as though there's been like a wave after wave after wave of stuff that's gone on, and it's not to get too tied down in the weeds with it, but it's different to be a young person than it was 5 years ago, and then 10 years ago, and every generation seems to be going through their own individual struggles, and but in terms of charitable work alongside businesses, what are some of the things that you'll go out and do with your kind of client partners or supporters, donators? What are some of those kind of things that you'll go out and kind of do to beat the drum about Herts Young Homeless?
We actually, there's quite a few of our partners who do different events on behalf of us. So Bartu had their sort of events up in London, and they invited their suppliers and customers along. So we got to spread the news a bit more about who we are. You never know who's going to be in the room, and it's those things. So to get invited along to those kind of things is great. There's a business who are going to do their own golf day for us in a couple of weeks' time. So they're in the construction industry. So we have a lot of partners in the construction industry because there's obviously a natural synergy with homelessness and providing social housing and things like that. So they're hosting their own golf day, and we'll go and represent the charity, but you never know who's in that room. Those things are invaluable, really.
What can people do proactively to try and help the problem of homelessness?
So they can do lots and lots of different things. So, if you support a charity, you might think that, oh, I have to give you money.
Yeah.
But that's one element of it. But yeah, helping create awareness is really important. Inviting us along to things like networking events so that we can get to meet different people is really good. So if you're part of any good networking groups, it's always good to share those. Having a look at, our social media, so our LinkedIn and Facebook and all of those kind of things, and just liking and sharing them with your network is great. And then other things around coming to our events. So we put on lots of events all year. And as Bartu know, they've been to quite a few of them and also done their own challenge with Climbing Snowdon last year. So those kind of things are great because they're fantastic for your team because they're good team building, team bonding things.
Yeah, 100%.
But they also support charity as well. So yeah, it's great.
I can attest to that, just to kind of share a bit of perspective on the Snowdonia milestone, let's call it. But that was, I'd only been in the business at Bar 2 for probably like a month, and I'd already kind of caught whispers of this challenge that was going on and not kind of been fully aware of what it was all about. Kind of, jumped in, feet first, so to speak, and realised very quickly that it was climbing a mountain, going up Snowdonia, and not only that, the Watkins Path, but that in itself was a challenge, but for an incredibly good cause, and it was great to kind of get behind the business. But then, as I started to do a bit of research into Herts Young Homeless, I realised, it's an area that we desperately need support in, and to kind of then meet the team around that as kind of a reason, and the camaraderie, and those moments when we were up that mountain, up the side of that mountain that were tough. And I know it's not a mountain, but it's not Everest, but it was still a challenging thing, and to kind of be a part of that experience with the team and to be able to support each other for a great cause. It was a really great way to kind of be introduced to Bar 2 and be introduced to the team. So yeah, I can definitely testify to the camaraderie that it can create. It's something special for sure.
I guess it would have made the whole thing a bit more rewarding, just completing the challenge in itself, but then also knowing that you're doing it for charity.
Yeah. Exactly. In terms of looking back to come back to Herts Young Homeless and kind of some of the future stuff. What do you think the space as a whole, not necessarily just for Herts, but for the charity as a sector? Like, how do you think it's going to look in the next 5-10 years, considering how much change has already come in the last 5?
I think for us specifically, we have, as we know, funding for things like local authorities are under a lot of pressure, has been reduced a lot. And a couple of our key services actually are funded by, Herts County Council. Okay. So we get, I think it's just over 50% statutory funding, and then the other 50% we fundraise. Right. And so given that the constraints on those kinds of funding, that may well affect us in the future. Mm-hmm. We don't know yet. Yeah. We know that obviously businesses have been impacted by things like the national insurance increases. That's had a massive impact. And especially for charities, it's a huge additional cost that they could have really done without. And that's put a cost pressure on top of all the other sort of cost of living pressures you've got. Yeah. So that's kind of just added to it. And so they are issues that I think, obviously not just the charity sector, but all businesses that's having an impact. And I think that for charities maybe who work in the same sort of space, in homelessness space, we can see that more partnership working may well be on the horizon, where you have maybe fewer charities but supporting the same people, and maybe having more of a wraparound kind of approach.
Charities collaborating with other charities and kind of joint funding and stuff like that.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
So almost like community funding in a way.
Because I think there are a lot, so a lot more charities are now applying for a lot more funding because of the increases in the cost of living.
Yeah, of course.
So funders are getting a lot more applications for the money they've got. So there's kind of less to go around. Because more people are applying for it now. So that's having and we're seeing that, and we've felt that.
Still seeing growth in the charity, or have you kind of maintained the same size or level of donations, I guess, that you get compared to previous?
We have been okay, actually, and thank goodness, and I hope we continue to be. But we know that basically it's just been harder to get. So we've had to run faster to kind of keep up
sure.
at the level that we want to be. We've been lucky as well. We feel more than some other charities have been. So yeah. So.
But is there anything else kind of small and easy that you think we could recommend people do that could make an impact in the space? Is there anything else that you kind of think of recommending? Not necessarily just financial, like it could be, anything in that realm of helping. Yes,
absolutely. So if we also do, we do actually take donations of things. So when we're helping a young person set up their new house, we supply them with all things that are new. So new bedding, new crockery, new cutlery. We give them things that are expensive, so toiletries, all those things that you can't buy yourself, that are expensive to buy. We also provide them with vouchers so that they can spend at the supermarket on food and things like that. So people can donate all of those things. And we do a big donations run at Christmas, and we provide all of the young people we're working with at that point a kind of Christmas pack. So just awesome. Some nice things to have because they might not be getting anything else. And it's just a nice thing, and we send them a pack so that they've got something to open on Christmas Day. And even if whether you celebrate Christmas or you don't, whether that's that's what you follow or you don't, it's just a nice
definitely, especially when everyone else you're surrounded by people having a nice time and getting nice stuff.
That's
it would suck to be homeless in that situation. Sure.
Absolutely.
You still do the sleep out.
We do.
Do you?
So that's our flagship event.
Right. Okay.
So we're doing that. It's on Friday the 7th of November.
Okay.
And it's at Oaklands College in St Albans.
Yeah.
And the Sleep Out's been going for a long time. And we do it in conjunction with 4 other homelessness charities that are based in and around St Albans. And last year, I think we had our biggest audience. I think we had about 140 sleepers last November.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so it was great.
Yeah, that's a great turnout.
So really, really good, and there was a great buzz to be there. And it's just a really nice coming together of, individuals, families. We have scout groups. We have a foster carer group who are absolutely lovely. And then we have businesses, so and we also have people come with their friends and things like that as well. So it's a real blend. Actually, it's a really nice mix of people, and we'll put on things like we have some young people or older people who who are part of the other charities that are there, who come along and sort of tell their story and say what happened and how they became homeless or needed our services. So it's just fantastic to hear it firsthand, really.
I was
nothing more powerful.
I'd love to hear that out at something like that. You'd hope that some of your previous people that you've helped will come and talk to the guys that are going through it now.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's, there's nothing more powerful than hearing that straight from especially a young person. So and it's just a nice coming together, and then everybody sort of beds down about 11, 12 o'clock, try and get some sleep.
What time of year is it again, sorry?
November.
So that'll be chilly.
Very chilly.
Very chilly. Very chilly indeed.
We've been lucky, touch wood, that we haven't had rain. It's just been cold, but we've not had rain. So so it's been...
How many years?
It's been going for, I think it's been going 25 plus, maybe 30, something like that.
You've had no rain?
Yeah, no. Not as long as I've been there. They may have
for sure
pre me.
That's amazing.
But no, it's been great, and we're really looking forward to this year. It's quite interesting because when you come along and experience it, you're not quite sure how you're going to cope with it. And a lot of people said that actually they got really emotional when they got home the next morning because they were going back to their house, a warm bed, they had a shower, they had some food, and they had their family, and they said, and then people that was when it dawned.
You won't think about it until you you go to something like that, or
Yeah.
you talk to somebody like you,
Yeah.
you know, and I went to
Yeah.
some of your bits, and it does get you. It
Yeah.
does get you. 'Cause,
Absolutely.
you know, we're all very close to it. I
Yeah.
know people that have gone through it, and yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty much at time, believe it or not, which flew
Ah.
past.
Really?
Wow, that has gone fast.
It's gone really quick, hasn't it? That just must be a good thing. So I hope your first time on our podcast was great. And yeah, hopefully we can get you on again in the future to talk about some more of the amazing work that you're doing.